If I could tell somebody one thing that they need to know before buying an RV, and it's something that drives me crazy, and I think we need to change the way people think about RVs, which is recreational vehicles. One of the things that I think needs to be changed is the perception that everybody has about recreational vehicles. And the industry, it's a little misleading because they call it a recreational vehicle. What I would like to submit to you is that an RV or a recreational vehicle is not a car, and I think a lot of people in their mind think it's a car, it's like a car. And it's probably because it has the name vehicle in it. And yes, you have to go into the DMV and you register it, and you get a license plate for it. But, and I mean, RV dealers have the license that an RV dealer uses is similar to a car dealer. But at the end of the day, I don't think they should even be in the category of vehicles or cars. I think they should be more like houses. You know, people that sell RVs should have to get a realtor's license, right? You go through like schooling to learn how to become a realtor, and you learn all about houses and how things are built, and a good realtor is going to be more educated on the market of houses and how, you know, a good quality built house versus a poor quality built house. And, you know, most RV dealers, the salesmen that they hire are ex car salesmen, not convicts, but some of them, I don't know, it's debatable. Anyway, they're the ones that fail at selling cars, so they come and sell RVs. It's terrible. Like, so our guys that actually work at ROA, I don't think any of them have sold cars previously. The coaches that we have, most of them have. One of them was an insurance agent, you know, and which is great, is because much different mentality, right? Anyway, get back to the point. A recreational vehicle really is more like a house than it is a car or a vehicle. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. You know, and an RV has more in common with like a tiny home. And I think when people look up tiny homes, they think, oh, this is a house. And they put it on little wheels and they roll it somewhere and they set it down and it's a house. And when you think of a tiny home, you think, oh, if I have something that's not working, I go and get somebody that works on houses and appliances, and it all kind of like comes together as like, you don't think like, when I'm driving my car, if something's not working, I go down to the Ford or Honda or Chevy dealer, and typically it's in and out really fast, right? And they have, everything's very systematic. There's a process, but everything's built by a robot. Think about this for a second. Most cars are built by robots. So the process in the system of how it's built is very, very consistent over and over and over. So it's really easy for them to say, hey, you know, oh, there's a chirpy fan in the car. That's a recall. 1,000 cars because the robot, you know, miscalculated and there was a recall. And so it got that same defect over and over and over and over, right? So it's really easy for them to go back and fix all of those things. Now, like, a recreational vehicle is put through an assembly line, which is similar to a car in that sense, right? But it's handcrafted. It's handmade, right? So these are humans that are putting things together, and they're using caulk, right? Like in a house for your shower, right? They're using trim and wood and cabinetry and sinks and plumbing with PEX fittings, right? This is a house. This is a house that just so happens to be on wheels. That's called a recreational vehicle. I think it would probably do people a great deal of benefit if they started calling them recreational mobile cabins, because, you know, you have that perspective of this is actually a house on wheels. And then you kind of become a little bit more forgiving, because a lot of times when there's things that go wrong with them, it's like there's not always like, this doesn't happen the same time over and over and over. And a lot of people are really shocked with saying like, how did you not catch this? You know, is this not a recall? And it's like, you're the only one out of 100 people that has had this issue. Now, sometimes there's reoccurring issues for sure, but you'd be surprised how often we hit one-off things that are like, it's a one and only problem, and we never have it. It's there and it's gone and it's never again. And you would be surprised. Like, this makes everything tremendously difficult, right? for the manufacturers, for the dealers, because if they're having like these random one-off issues, because maybe the craftsmanship, right? Like the guy came in on Monday a little hungover. I don't know. I don't want to say that. Not the case with our manufacturers, but you know, things happen, right? Maybe he's hungover. Maybe he was having a fight with his wife, and he comes in and he's a little bit discouraged and not happy. So the craftsmanship's not up to par. Maybe it's Friday and they're excited to go on a family trip. I don't know. There's always there's these excuses, and I don't think we should allow excuses, but humans are humans, and there's human error that goes into recreational cabins on wheels. And when you understand that, hey, this might be a one-off issue, it's a little bit harder. Sometimes we got to figure it out. We got to track it down. And like if there was a reoccurring issue, like, oh, a recall, oh, those fans are there's a chirpy fan on your 2008 whatever Honda Civic, you know, it's easy for the manufacturer to build 1,000 of those, ship them all out, and have them in stock, so when somebody comes in with the recall, they can just fix it like that. But when it's like a one-off thing, you're kind of like, hey, I need to call. Hey, we have an issue? And they're like, oh, that's a one-off thing. All of the widgets that I ordered for the trailer, I have enough for all the trailers going out, so I don't necessarily have one just sitting around on stock. So they have to order it, special order it, and it's just, it's unfortunate, but that happens a lot, right? And people just need to understand the same thing is in your house, right? If you have something that's not working, you don't always expect to like get same day service, or it's not like where you drive into a car dealership and you know, they have like parts on hand, always readily available. The car industry is also a billion, 100 billion, almost probably $1 trillion business industry, right? And the RV industry is, comparatively speaking, is very, very small. And so when you're running things at that type of scale, where you don't just have millions, I think there's like 13 million. I probably should check, but in between 12 and 13 million RVs in existence in the United States of America. Like, that's how many RV owners there are. There's hundreds of millions of cars, right? It's massively different, right? And that scale and the statistics and the data that you can track when things are going wrong, it's much different, right? And it's all made by robots. These are houses on wheels. Remember that. When you're driving down the highway and things are rattling and shaking, think to yourself, if I were to put my house on wheels and rattle it down the freeway, would everything be perfect? No, absolutely not. And if you have that expectation and that understanding, you're much more forgiving on the trailer, not just this trailer, but all the trailers. Obviously, our trailers are way, way better built than almost any trailer in the market. But hopefully that was somewhat educational and you learn a little bit. I think that the thing that we need to learn from this video is they're recreational cabins on wheels. I like that. I think that's what we should call them. Don't call them vehicles, because they're not cars. They're little houses on wheels. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, subscribe and share it with somebody, and go check out our other playlists of Campfire Rants, or you can go to our Wondering Wednesdays, or you can stay tuned for some of our ridiculous adventures and stuff that we're doing. We're always doing something ridiculous here at ROA. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.